Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Peace, love, and positivity to you. My name is Sohum, and today I'll be giving a first-time reaction to the famous Nina Simone. We're going to be checking out some of her more popular tracks today to give us a good idea of what her sound is like. Nina is extremely well known for being a jazz pianist as well as a phenomenal jazz singer. And in addition to jazz as a genre, she also dabbles in blues and gospel and soul and R&B. It seems like there's always an extra genre just lying around the corner. So excited to hear what she brings to the table today. And additionally, she's also really well known for being a civil rights activist. So there is a lot of good in her. And, I've always heard great things about Nina, but today's the time to finally take a deep dive into this world. We're going to start with the song Feeling Good, which I've actually heard before, but not by Nina. I actually heard a cover by Michael Bublé many moons ago. So very curious to now close the loop and hear the original from Nina there. And for this reaction, all three of these songs today, we are going to be doing some lyrical analysis as well. So the format of this video will be listen to Feeling Good, analyze the lyrics, then listen to Mississippi Goddamn, analyze the lyrics, and so forth. Hope you guys are excited to check these out alongside me today. But before we do, a massive thank you goes to Adam for making this reaction request and for bringing Nina Simone to the channel. Now, my friends, let's jump into it.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel.
Wow. Already in the first two lines, there is a difference in the tempo of her delivery than I'm used to.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel.
Sounds like she's being recorded from like the center of an empty room.
Drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me. Yeah, it's a new dawn, it's a new day.
Oh.
It's a new life for me. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, that is soulful.
And I'm feeling good.
Oh yeah. When this gets established, this song just takes a different feel.
You know how I feel. River running free. You know how I feel.
I feel like this has to be one of the more iconic, rhythmic structures coming from what sounds to be these tubas, maybe trombones, something in the brass. But I feel like if this song had no lyrics, but you gave a majority of the population just that brass sound, people would know exactly what the song is.
River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
I can hear the strings up there.
For me, and I'm feeling good.
Oh, dude, it's so smooth.
Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know?
Oh, do you hear the piano now?
Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean.
Oh, those notes are skating around.
Sleep in peace when day is done, that's
Oh,
what
Nina.
I mean.
Dude, she has such a phenomenal voice. I love that it feels so earthy. When she kind of brings her voice up for those higher notes, she doesn't like fully flip into falsetto. So she's bringing that chest voice all the way up, kind of like a stretching of her vocal cords.
And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Yeah, yeah. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel.
Such a good melody.
Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine.
The delivery on freedom, she
And
just
I
sends
know
that
how
note.
I feel.
Freedom.
It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me.
What is happening? What is happening here?
I'm feeling
Wow. And I like that ending on the sustained note there, and her voice slowly kind of dies in the mix as everything turns down. I want to hear that little section again right before where she was just purely vocalizing. Um, I don't know how I want to describe her voice there. It's like a version of if humans could like bleat, BLEAT, the thing that like goats and sheeps do. That's like a new language in there. Oh, dude, that ending sequence is everything. Yeah, awesome. Definitely a few notes on the song at a high level that I think show up in a lot of covers too, but because it's originating here from Nina Simone, we should unpack some of those things that have been passed down after cover of this song. I love that in the beginning, pretty much in every cover I'll hear, it's going to be that a cappella section where Nina or whoever's covering it is just their voice. And when it's just the voice, there's no rhythm guiding that voice either. It is just based on the sort of inner vision that the singer has for how they'd like to sing that song, almost completely devoid of scales in the typical sense. Because if you ever like hum or sing to yourself, oftentimes most of us don't have perfect pitch, so we're unable to like sing exactly in that C major scale that we would like to. Without a reference note, it could be very hard. But it isn't any less singing. You're not singing any less if you're just singing completely from the heart and still retaining some scale. It just means you don't know what the scale is, but you're good at referential melodic development. And I don't know if Nina has perfect pitch or not, but as she is doing all of that a cappella stuff, she is never falling in and out of the same key. She's staying right there, even rhythmically to some extent. I think if you were to put a metronome to her voice, she would be pretty consistent. But what I like about it is that actually, putting a metronome to her voice in that moment would actually defeat the purpose of that section entirely, because we just want to hear Nina's voice no matter how long it takes to get to this section with the huge brass. And so she can quicken certain measures, she can take her time with others and exist in this very like melismatic place that gives the song so much character. The second and most important piece that gives this song character is that brass and the rhythm of that brass, because the movement and melody for that section of for that instrument in the song, it is simple. It's just like a dum ba-doo boo-doo, like simple like 1-2 note movements. There's nothing crazy about it, but they're well selected notes first and foremost, and second, it's the places that they punch in to the overall arrangement that makes this song, I just feel like, so timeless. Let's jump into some of the lyrical analysis. And I wanted to say this too at a very high level before we go line by line. But you'll notice that at the top of a lot of these verses, you'll get lines like birds flying high, sun in the sky, fish in the sea, river running free, butterflies all having fun, dragonfly out in the sun. A lot of her vocab, it's all centered around nature, around animals, bugs, things that don't have, the same consciousness that we do. They just experience in the way that oftentimes we remove ourselves from the present moment due to a number of factors, but it's a new dawn, it's a new day. Here is the environment. All of these things are flourishing freely. And now it's my turn to make this fresh start and capitalize on whatever moment I need to capitalize on. So we start off, birds flying high, you know how I feel, sun in the sky, you know how I feel. And the you know how I feel, that repetition is the sort of olive branch being extended. Like, you guys empathize, you understand what feeling good feels like. And here are so many different examples of what feeling good is: being present, the joys of nature, the freedom of flying. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Woo, 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 woo. And I'm feeling good. So she kind of puts the bow tie on all of it. It's a new dawn. I'm starting whatever journey I'm kind of embarking on. I am starting that today. And note that there's pretty much no discussion of what happened before. There's nothing. We have no information about it. And I kind of like that because it doesn't give any credence to what happened before. Let's say it was like a soda addiction that you had that you're now trying to get over. And the new dawn, the new day is the version of you that no longer has sugary soda. Well, all you got to do is forget that past version because you don't, identify with that person anymore. So you start completely fresh, which means you don't need to bring up the past to the same extent. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. Yeah, just all of these really nice moments. Dragonfly out in the sun, butterflies all having fun. I kind of have some personal stories about dragonflies and butterflies, to be honest. I remember as a kid, I was in the passenger seat of my mom's car. My hand was out the window. I was feeling the breeze, and it was a warm summer's day, and boom, a dragonfly smacks my hand full force at like 50 miles an hour, dies immediately on impact, and then all of the juicy guts and it was so gross and visceral. And I have I don't know if you'd call it phobia for real, but like, I'm definitely not the biggest bug person in the world. And then, you can think about butterflies, the way that they fly around. If you've ever been in those butterfly encampments, for example, they fly extremely erratically. There is no predicting where they will fly to, where they will land, if they're going to be right in your face 1 second and then quickly dart out of the way the next. The first time I had ever been in such an encampment, I like sprinted my way through. I lasted maybe like 15 seconds. It was just so scary. But actually, I want to say like 5 months ago at this point, I enjoyed another butterfly encampment, and with my ability to calm myself down, I was actually able to stay in there for like an hour or so. A few butterflies landed on me. It was a good time. But yeah, butterflies, they very much so are having fun. You know what I mean? Sleep in peace when day is done. That's what I mean. I like that. Sleep in peace when day is done. Don't let the previous day or even the things that happened in this current day carry forward. You just want to put it all to rest. Be peaceful, rest, recharge, and start anew. That's always been a difficult thing for me because it always feels like what I have today is sort of a rolling ball of the things that I had yesterday. And the times where I feel most overwhelmed is when that ball becomes so big and the momentum of that ball is so much. It's good to kind of like make your day as simple as possible and just tackle the things that are impacting you one by one, as to not, carry on with that previous baggage. Or the reframe would be, the perspective of this day is that it is a new day, and all of the emotional negativity you feel from the past now can be kind of pushed to the wayside. And this old world is a new world, and a bold world for me, yeah. And this is a line that I've also always loved, because the new world we want to create, it's not coming from nowhere. We're not like shipping it in from Amazon or Alibaba or wherever you get your products. The old world is the place that the new world is born out of. So you can't just leave whatever happened in the past for real. You just have to build on top of that. You have to reconstruct that place, that time, to something that is more fitting for you. So the new world has to be a construction of the old world. They can look a lot apart. They can look very different from one another, but they're still derivative. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Son of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine. And I feel like I'm not doing it justice, but Nina singing freedom there, she throws that note up. That was at that point in the song, I think the loudest moment, her biggest belt, if you will. And, of course, freedom is something that matters to all of us, and you're going to shout out for that. That thing is going to mean so much to you. And I love that her delivery matches what she's feeling internally. I'm emphasizing it perfectly. And I know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. Oh, I'm feeling good. So to me, it's very clearly a song that, has kind of like kickstarts you into that new phase of your day, of your week, of your life. And you can always kind of restart. No matter how far gone you think you are in one domain or another, you can always turn the tables. You can always turn the direction of how you're feeling. And you can almost gaslight yourself into feeling good, to the point that you faked it till you made it for so long, and now you're actually feeling good. So there's many ways you could kind of look at this one. But that was a fun song off rip. Definitely a familiar one. Let's check out Mississippi Goddamn. This is new for me.
Mississippi Goddamn, it's our last tune. We had some requests for it.
That's a different vibe already in the rhythm.
Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. And everybody knows about Mississippi Goddamn. Alabama's got me so upset.
Alabama, Tennessee, and Mississippi.
Made me lose my rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi Goddamn. Can't you see it? I know you can feel it. It's all in the air.
Wow, listen to the way her voice is cutting through the atmosphere here.
Stand the pressure much longer. Somebody say a prayer. Alabama's got me so upset, and Governor Wallace has made me lose my rest. Everybody knows
Governor
about
Wallace.
Mississippi Goddamn.
Governor Wallace, my history class is coming to me. I'm going to look up Governor Wallace. George Wallace, lawyer and former governor of Alabama, who was the 45th and longest serving governor of Alabama and longest serving governor from the Democratic Party. What was he known for? Seeking to stop the racial integration of the University of Alabama. Okay. Yeah, I was figuring there was something to do with the states listed here, all of them in the southern part of America, of the United States, especially known for their racist beliefs and laws, definitely at the time. And actually, I even saw something recently that talked about Mississippi specifically. It was, I think in 2010 or something like that, they finally abolished slavery in Mississippi. Like, finally, like it was abolished federally all the way back when, but states, they have to ratify at their level, and apparently it just never had gotten done. And like it's not like they could enslave people because the federal government would then take problem with them. But I, you know, obviously like hatred can run deep, and so too can love. But it is scary sometimes just how much hatred over generation after generation can kind of mount up here. So it seems like Nina is very clearly calling out all of those like problematic places.
Everybody knows about Mississippi gone down.
Boom, 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 boom.
Hound dogs on my trail. School children sitting in jail.
Oh wow.
Black cat crossed my path. I think every day's gonna be my last.
Oh, I like the melody in the strings here.
Lord have mercy on the land of mine. We all gonna get it in due time.
Oh, I like her vocal
I don't
melody too.
belong here. I don't belong there. I've even stopped believing in prayer.
Wow. Like completely, like anywhere you go, you just don't belong. You're constantly chastised just for being you.
Don't tell me, I'll tell you. Me and my people just about do. I've been there, so I know they keep on saying, go slow. That's just the trouble.
Go slow.
Washing the windows.
Too slow,
Picking the cotton.
too slow,
We're just plain rotten.
too slow.
Too slow. They're repeating it, so I'm assuming there's more subtext there than I'm understanding. At least with the things that she's bringing up and the response being too slow, it seems like the too slow is like a version of an insult to African Americans.
Slow,
Washing the windows.
too slow,
Picking the cotton.
too slow,
We're just plain rotten.
too slow,
We're too damn lazy.
too slow,
Our thinking's crazy.
Oh, you can hear her voice
Where am I
breaking a
going?
little bit.
What am I doing? I don't know. Just try to do my very best.
Oh,
Stand up, be counted with all the rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi gone down. Picket lines, school boycotts. They try to say it's a communist plot. All I
wow.
want is equality.
That's interesting. So I do remember that piece of history a little bit. That was the mislabeling used to push down the civil rights cause. And there's many different tactics that abusers and people who are just in positions of power will employ to not actually progress societally. They'll say, oh, you don't like what we're doing. You are a insert whatever label that maybe you actually aren't, but looks bad to most people on the surface. And because headlines rule a lot, and the little quick, quippy thing you can say that's catchy will catch on and then be used routinely, you find the most marketable phrase that does any level of damage. It's one of the reasons why our current president of the United States will constantly name call his opponents, because it serves him to be able to do that. His voter base, I was going to say fan base, but let the Freudian slip be what it is. His voter base, they like that because it's actually easy to hold on to all of those slogans, and it's always really easy to otherize and make others feel like they are the problem. And if you've attached a label to those other people, then it becomes very easy to also dehumanize them and not consider them from an empathetic standpoint. So it's kind of upsetting that a lot of these similar tactics are still used today. And I truly hope that year after year, week after week, minute after minute, we as a society, as individuals, grow to be more loving for one another rather than holding on to a lot of these racist, problematic beliefs that only hold us back. What are we doing wasting so much time not being here for each other? Such a damn waste.
Say it's a communist plot. All I want is equality for my sister, my brother, my people,
There you go.
and me. You lied to me all these years. You told me to wash and clean my ears and talk real fine just like a lady, and you'd stop calling me Sister Sadie.
I don't know that reference.
My country is full of lies. We all gonna die and die like flies.
Wow.
I don't trust nobody anymore. They keep on saying go
So this is a
slow.
beautiful song. I really like this. Great
That's
melody.
just the trouble.
Great meaning.
Slow.
Desegregation,
Too slow.
mass participation,
Too
Too
slow.
slow.
unification.
Too slow.
Do things gradually
Too slow.
will bring more tragedy.
Too slow.
Why don't you see?
That's interesting. Doing things too gradually will still bring tragedy.
Unification,
Too slow.
do things gradually,
Too slow.
will bring more tragedy.
Too slow.
I see. So that is an interesting, how can I say this? That's an interesting perspective to have, because it's not about the change, it's about the rate of change. And if the rate of change towards a progressive, unified society takes too long, well, there are going to be far more tragedies than there ought to be on that way. So instead of like changing the laws over the course of 10, 15, 20 years, if you did everything that is correct and morally justified to do right off the bat, there would be fewer tragedies. Maybe the sort of like pendulum effect would swing violently for the first like year or two, or however that would look, but it may not persist in the same way that doing it very slowly might. I have to think about that more, but I take Nina's word for it.
Gradually,
Too slow.
will bring more
Oh,
tragedy.
and that's where the too slow is coming from.
Why don't you see it? Why don't you feel it? I don't know. You don't have to live next to me. Just give me my equality. 'Cause everybody knows about Alabama. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Gone down. That's it.
Wow, I love that. Just exclamation point on that performance. That performance comes from lived experience, the experience of those she knows. Speaking out against societal injustice. It's one of the reasons why it is so important to have voices that advocate for the causes that actually matter, rather than being quieted down and suppressed out of fear or whatever mechanisms hold people back from being able to truly express themselves. It is so rare to have people like Nina who are just so brave in and of themselves, because they have this intrinsic drive for societal betterment. Obviously, it aids their own cause, but it's not selfish because everybody benefits by it. Truly, just it's like one of those things that if people, and this is another argument that people will use against like furthering progressive causes, but people will say, oh, that's cringy. Oh, why do you care so much? Oh, why are you putting in this level of time and attention? Things will change gradually. But no, they won't. That's the thing about change, is that you have to be very deliberate and almost forceful at times to enact change within your life. And that's at the individual level. You extend that argument to what needs to happen societally to affect change. Usually things have to reach a boiling point, which is the unfortunate thing, because can't we just notice things proactively and make changes together because we recognize the direct effects, the second order effects, the tertiary effects? Like, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just like the select few of us out there who are thinking in this way about societal betterment, but There's a reason why she is being so forceful in her delivery, because the message needs to be loud, the message needs to be clear. Let's jump into the lyrical analysis here. So Mississippi, goddamn. I don't know if this is like goddamn is DAMN, like the same version of that, or if it's some other definition. But I'm just going to go with the DAMN version. So Alabama's gotten me upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. And everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn. I think the reason Mississippi gets the goddamn part associated with it is because racism was, you could say, bad everywhere, but especially bad in Mississippi. Alabama's gotten me upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. So we repeat here. Can't you see it? Can't you feel it? It's all in the air. It's not even about like the specific barbaric actions or racist remarks that are made. It's just in the way that people look at you, the way that people do or don't engage with you. You feel it. Your subconscious knows it. It feels like it doesn't belong. And that's not just your own self-perception that actually manifests in the real world, to the extent that everybody who are affected, who are being treated poorly, they're feeling this. And she is making that overture to those who may be feeling something but don't necessarily know what it is they're feeling here. I can't stand the pressure much longer. Somebody say a prayer. Alabama's gotten me upset. Tennessee made me lose the rest. And everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn. If you know this song, you can join in with us. Hound dogs. Okay, so we'll do these two lines. If you know the song, you can join with us. This type of song, it is written to garner support. It's written to almost like hype up everybody else who feels similarly, because it does take a lot to convince people to do anything, right? Like I just mentioned. So once there's that level of buy-in emotionally, because we are all being affected by it, now you can sing along and then spread the message too. You know, notice how it's not just like a call and response. It's more of like, if you heard this song and now you can sing the same song, then the message that I am trying to spread, will be spread further and faster. You think of like word of mouth and how social networks work. And, naturally doing everything on your own, it's an impossible feat. Hound dogs on my trail, school children sitting in jail, black cat crossed my path. Like, I'm pretty sure all of these examples actually existed historically, with like African Americans being chased by hound dogs and school children being arrested, right, just for sitting at the diner. And then the black cat crossing your path, obviously, black cats are associated with bad luck, but it feels like for her and just African Americans in general, black cats are always constantly crossing their path. They're always getting unlucky. And that's just the structure of society. It's a rigged game in that sense. I think every day is going to be my last. Constantly fear of life, fear of being lynched. Lord, have mercy on this land of mine. We all going to get it in due time. Mercy. We're all going to get mercy in due time. But I don't belong here. I don't belong there. I've even stopped believing in prayer. Wow. And even from before, we had somebody say a prayer, but then later we're getting further into the depths of her psyche, and she doesn't believe in prayer anymore. And I believe it is at this point too in the song where melodically things start to sound a lot darker. So that feeling is matched in the melody. Don't tell me, I tell you. Me and my people just about do. I've been there so I know. They keep on saying go slow. Well, that's just the trouble. Too slow. Okay. So I do think that the too slow, it's not necessarily an insult like I interpreted it the first time. I think it more has to do with the rate of change societally. Washing the windows, too slow. Picking the cotton, too slow. You're just plain rotten, too slow. Too damn lazy, too slow. Okay, so maybe it actually serves both purposes because it does feel insulting too, especially when paired with all of these, you know, slavery related activities, picking the cotton, washing the windows, like servant style class. You're just plain rotten people just being cruel when they could just be neutral or nice. Thinking's too slow. Thinking's crazy, too slow. Where am I going? What am I doing? I don't know. I don't know. Just trying to do my very best. To me, where am I going up until do my very best? That is a version of trying to survive, but being unable to thrive because of all of the pressure. Stand up, be counted with all the rest. Dehumanized. That's dehumanizing language when you're just counted and not, named, let's say, given any kind of personality or affect. Because everybody knows about Mississippi goddamn. You afraid of that word? So maybe let me just look up Mississippi goddamn. Hold on. Mississippi goddamn. Okay, I thought I was referring to some other concept, but it just seems like it only refers to Nina Simone's song. Okay, so she says, you afraid of that word? Picket lines, school boycotts. They try to say it's a communist plot. So that's that's part of the strategy, is making people believe that you are worse than what you actually are. Because the moment that you are labeled as something is the moment that other people hear that association. And associations, if repeated over a long enough time horizon, becomes belief. And oftentimes people don't know where their latent beliefs come from. It's like a simulacrum of a simulacrum. I have this assumption, I have this belief, and I don't know why I have it because I never bothered to check where that belief came from. So it kind of sets into people's gray matter without them realizing. All I want is equality for my sisters, brothers, people, and me. You lied to me all these years. You told me to wash and clean my ears and talk real fine just like a lady. You'd stop calling me Sister Sadie. So I don't know the Sister Sadie reference here, but the way I take all of this is almost like a response to a lot of the racist and misogynistic comments that she may get, because she's told to, oh, you're being too bombastic, you're being too loud about your beliefs, you need to be more ladylike, you need to calm yourself down. And, inherent in those statements is built-in misogyny. Oh, but my country is full of lies. You're all going to die and die like flies because I don't trust you anymore. It's almost like a threat here. You keep on saying go slow. That's just the trouble. Too slow. Desegregation too slow. Mass participation too slow. Reunification too slow. So note here that now in this new section of too slows, the direction in the opposite way, it's also too slow, because she was listing before all of these problematic things, picking the cotton, you're just plain rotten. That was like almost like at the depths, and we were slowly descending. We weren't making rapid change that way either. And now we're on the come up, the upswing of too slow. Desegregation is happening too slowly. Mass participation, it's too slow. Do things gradually, too slow. And the problem of doing everything too slowly is that there is still some like moral threshold that we are underneath, It's not good enough to just be like, oh, we're moving the needle here and here and here. And yes, progress takes time, but also if we know that the progress meter should get up to here, what are we doing spending all this time down here? Every second spent down there results in the future generations suffering immeasurably and potentially more tragedy. So she even mentions, do things gradually, too slow, but bring more tragedy, too slow. Why don't you feel it, see it? I don't know. You don't have to live next to me. Just give me my equality. Yeah, she's not even posing her existence on anyone else. Just let me live peacefully. That's it. My existence shouldn't be impacting you and your existence to this extent. It doesn't logically track, and I don't want to do those things that you assume that I would be doing anyways. That's just not there's no skin in the game for me. I would rather just exist peacefully. So everybody knows about Alabama, Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan, Jesse Jackson, Michael Jackson. Everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn, goddamn. So bringing in a great many historical figures here, some of whom politicians responsible for moving things too slowly. I see Michael Jackson here. I wonder why he's being referenced specifically. I'm not too sure. But yeah, another great song from Nina, definitely taking a different approach to feeling good in the songwriting and definitely in the topics being addressed here. But let's check out the last song of the day. This one is For Women.
It is a picture of 4 different women, Negro women.
How you guys
My
doing?
skin is black and my arms are long. My hair is like wool and my back is strong.
Wow. Just like describing like the overall like phenotype.
Strong enough to take all the pain that's been inflicted again and again and again.
Right. And the back being strong, it's like the physical result of all of the slavery they endured. So they were whipped, they were abused, they were murdered, they were taken for granted, all of the worst things possible. And as a result, they've had to like harden themselves to be able to sustain the damage, the whips, the chains, all of it. So they grew strong from that place, but obviously that's the kind of, how can I say this? Because like when she's describing all of the other features and characteristics, those are more to do just with genetics, but the part of the strong back almost feels like it was imposed, almost like epigenetically, because they suffered so much abuse. This is the direction that they've now gone genetically.
What do they call me? My name is Aunt Sarah. Mon nom est Aunt Sarah.
Oh, that's cool. What language is that?
My skin is yellow and my hair is long and straight and long.
Oh, she's going to describe like all 4 of the different women.
Between 2 worlds, I do belong, I do belong.
I like that.
My father was rich and white. He forced my mother late one night.
Oh, wow.
What do they call me? My name is Saffronia.
Saffronia. Saffron. What color is saffron? Is that also yellow? Saffron color. Golden yellow to orange red. So it matches with the yellow skin tone.
Saffronia. Yeah.
So I like if I'm gonna just predict what might happen in this song, I feel like she's gonna take each of the women and kind of give us their backstory, the things that they struggled with, and tie them all together under the umbrella of the plight of women who are suffering at the hands of society, at the hands of men. She's just letting the kind of music flow through her body, and there's so much simplicity in this upright bass, and I guess drum kit. I don't know if I hear anything
My
else.
skin is tan, tan. And my hair's all right. It's fine. My hips invite your daddy. And my mouth is like wine. Who's a little girl of mine? Why, yours if you got some money to buy.
So she's a prostitute.
I meet you in Cannes later. What do they call me? They call me Sweet Thing.
It's interesting that she just blasted the piano with that chord there,
Sweet Thing.
because I hadn't really heard her play much piano throughout this.
They call me Sweet Thing. Da.
This is such a different experience listening to Nina, I gotta say. It's a very different performance style.
My skin is brown, brown, and my manner is tough.
Oh, it's getting kind of
I'll kill the first mother I see.
atonal.
My life has been too rough. I'm awfully bitter these days, because my parents were slaves. What do they call me?
Oh wow, that was beautiful. Dude, she's just...
My name is Peaches.
I love how she just like stands up and is like, yeah, I did that. I want to hear that sequence again. That, I love that she's doing this. I don't know where that comes from, but it's such a fresh, beautiful sound, the vocalizing that she does.
My name is Peaches.
Beautiful. Let's talk about the song, and then we will hopefully wrap up the reaction. I know we've been going for some time here, but this was a really fun listen from Nina. Like, feeling good. That song I already kind of knew, so I knew roughly lyrically what to expect there. But with Mississippi Goddamn and For Women, these two songs definitely took us into a different direction, which we probably need to visit more on the channel in general and just in our lives to better understand these different plights that if we don't as individuals face, certainly those around us are facing and have faced. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important for us to just stay unified and not disconnected and act as though we are always at odds with one another. Because if we stay in that place, we're never going to be actually able to help each other through these things. And we lose our ability to then empathize, which isn't it kind of a skill for humans that we should master to be able to have empathy for one another? It's the whole point of our evolution, is to rely on each other. Anyways, I really like her voice. I like that she has that kind of grounded delivery, and when she wants to like be more loud, she just brings it up to that place and is very clear cut in any of the arrangements that they kind of have around her. And it seems like they are not, at least in the last song, they did not opt for something overly complex, at least not until the end, with some of those gnarly like piano, just crescendo-y black holy kind of sections. So it allows the vocal delivery and the story to be of most importance. So in this story with four women, I think it's basically like a description of each of these four women all dealing with their different issues of slavery, of like colorism, of like sexual exploitation, just to name a few. My skin is black, my arms are long, my hair is woolly, my back is strong. So just describing this individual, or maybe the archetype, who knows? Strong enough to take the pain, inflict it again and again. What do they call me? My name is Aunt Sarah. And that's the thing too. I was talking about like dehumanization. I love that Nina gave this character a name, an Aunt Sarah, because I'm sure many listeners, even if they don't have an Aunt Sarah specifically, they'll be thinking about somebody who they know in their circle, or a friend of a friend who fits that description, not perfectly well, but close enough to where you realize like, no, that is actually part of their story too, not this fictitious Aunt Sarah, but all of the Aunt Sarahs that are out there. And the name is almost a stand-in for anybody, but by giving a specific name, you've kind of taken the pressure off of everybody else to, allow themselves to actually, how can I say this? Basically, like when I'm not using your name directly, you're going to be able to take it less personally, and you can more subconsciously parse out whether or not something that I'm saying is something that relates to you or not. If I was to directly like talk about, hey, you, John A, in the comments, like you are X, Y, and Z, I'm naturally going to get some part of that wrong. But if I just say, hey, there is this person named person X and they have these attributes, but you also happen to have some of those attributes, then the bias in your brain will say, okay, this is about me. And this isn't a song that is like predatory on our biases. It's just meant to find ways to relate to those who are actually out there. And a great many people have so much pain that's been inflicted upon them over and over again. So that's more of like the reason I'm just going into this a little bit with more detail, is because these little stylistic choices change the way in which we interpret and internalize some of the meanings in these songs. And the second character, my skin is yellow, my hair is long, between two worlds. I do belong. My father was rich and white. He forced my mother late one night. What do they call me? My name is Saffronia. So this, to me, I think the story in this one is a slave owner raping a slave of his and then having a child as a result. And this child is Saffronia. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be Saffronia as the name. It's a stand-in for any and everybody who have a similar story. My skin is tan, my hair is fine, my hips invite you, my mouth like wine. Whose little girl am I? And like, I don't know how young this character is here, but like, because the emphasis is on little, to me, that spells disaster for the overall life of Sweet Thing here. And that's so sad too, because there was never a name given for this girl, just Sweet Thing, just basically reduced to sexual objectification. Anyone who has money to buy, what do they call me? My name is Sweet Thing. It's just terrible, man. My skin is brown, my manner is tough. I'll kill the first mother I see. Wow. My life has been rough. I'm awfully bitter these days. 'Cause my parents were slaves. What do they call me? My name is Peaches. So, all four of these characters had gone through some level of tragedy, some roughness befell them. And again, it's not just them, it's so many more. And I'm glad that this song overall was simpler in its lyricism because it gives you the chance to actually understand each and every single one of these stories. And I'm sure if you gave Nina more runtime, there's 15, 20, or hundreds of other stories out there that may be far too niche, but also exist in reality. You can look at all of the different documents and historical stories that are out there. I mean, I did a bulk of my reading up on slavery, like when I was in school, over the years. And, since since college, it's been less and less about those specific topics and more about how society is still treating African Americans and people of color. And you can see, like, every year in the news, there's some major racial issue and divide in the United States and just globally in general. There's a rather crazy statistic out there that highlights the fact that there is more slavery now in 2026 than there ever was back in the day in terms of absolute numbers, because naturally as a planet we've grown in populace, but because many parts of the world still follow these old traditions, they have more slaves than ever before. So it's not like these stories are going away anytime soon. They're just being moved to other parts of the world. And being in the United States, despite all of the terrible things that go on and the progress that needs to be made, there also is a lot of privilege that exists here because you're often insulated from the things that are even worse out there. And it's not a matter of like competition of who is being harmed more than the other. Everyone is being harmed in one way or another. And I love that in this recounting of these four stories, there is no one-upsmanship. It is all about everybody is going through something and all of it is not okay. We can actually manifest the ideal world, even though many detractors and those who are extremely conservative in their viewpoints are going to say we can't make these changes or we are going too fast with these changes. Who knows what could be on the other end of it? Those who are visionaries and see a better, brighter future ahead, they know that that progress can be swift if we allow it to be. And the only way there is with mass adoption and understanding. So art like this is what helps translate those ideas over. Music itself is a universal language, and sometimes like the same message sung or written in prose or poetry just hits that much harder. It helps people who may be closed-minded in a very literal sense open their hearts to something that is beyond their literal comprehension. I know I talked a lot in this one, but Nina definitely had my brain going. But I hope you enjoyed the reaction today. If you'd like to request more Nina Simone on the channel, you can do so by using the first link in the description box below. But thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.